Today is Tuesday, December the 17th, and Andy just asked me a question on YouTube about what do I think of SHOP, S-H-O-P. That stands for Shopify. I haven't got a clue what they do, and so I haven't looked at any news about the company. I don't know why they're where they are, but I'm just looking from a point of view of a technical trader and technical analysis, the way I look at it. And the first thing I see is that we're heading towards a second high after this pullback. So I would draw a Fibonacci on that and say that now that we have successfully cleared 78.2% 2 days in a row and came back today to test that 78.2, that we're on our way to $409.61. So to get into it now means there will be very little gain, because for sure there are sellers waiting at 409 who bought in here and held on all the way down to here, and you notice that it came down to test that particular high right there. So that's important. So that had me go back and look at a different Fibonacci. Because when you've got a stock coming down to test some other point, and I've already previously drawn this Fibonacci, so when I see that, oh my gosh, this drop right here matched that Fibonacci, let's go and see what that is, because that's going to be predictive of where it's going as well. So then I look at volume, and I see all of this purchasing volume here. This green above the moving average is institutional buying. So I would go to FinViz and I would see how much institutions own of Shopify. So why don't we do that right now? Let's go to FinViz and let's just type in, they've changed their interface a little bit. Screener maybe? Shop. So they've made it a little bit harder to use their site. Shop. So this is what FinViz says about Shopify. It's showing us a downward trend line. It's not showing us any other of the typical indicators on the way up, but we want to look at what insiders are owning virtually nothing. Insiders own virtually nothing in the stock. Gosh, I wish we didn't have this here. Let's get rid of that. Short, 4% short. They're getting squeezed a little bit, but let's see, what else can we tell here? They're not a company that makes out money. They have no dividend, but we want to look at institutional owners, 66.8% of institutional owners. Then we go to tip ranks, and we look at tip ranks, and we look at Shopify, and we see what the analysts have to say, and their target is 371. So that's 4.2% below where it is now. There are 13 analysts that follow them. 8 say a buy, but let's only look at the better ones, the 4-star and the 5-star. And yesterday, this guy reiterated a buy, but a target of 427. That doesn't make any sense. And he's a better than 4-star analyst. So here's a 4.5-star analyst who reiterated a buy 11 days ago. So you'd have to go back to the chart and see where it was 11 days ago. Here's a buy, 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 buy. So everybody's buy. So you could buy. Everybody's buy, everybody's positive on this, but if you buy it, be aware it's going to 409.61 and guaranteed. As I'm sitting here, it's pulling back, but look at the volume. Lots of institutions are getting in and buying this. Pretty nice stock. So finally, let's look at that other Fibonacci that I drew, which starts here, ends there, and this pullback here. Let's just take a look and see what that pullback was. Was it a significant Fibonacci pullback? Well, let's see. On this limited basis, this pullback was that's not the fib I wanted to show you. I'd want to see a pullback on this Fibonacci right here. And how much did it pull back before it reversed and started this great move up? It pulled back 38.2% and found support. So this is a valid place to put in a Fibonacci extension, which says if the stock rose from here to here and pulled back to here, which is verified at a 38.2% pullback, where is it going to go to retrace this kind of growth? And the 100% point right here is where we had the pullback to. So we went to 100%. We stopped there for several days, so therefore it's significant. We came back and tested it after hitting the 138.2. Again, this is a very high quality Fibonacci. Came back to the 138.2. Again, validation. Went up to 161.8. Didn't spend much time there and went up and hit 178.6. At which point it came down to where? 100% again. Up to 138.2, down to 100%, and then rocketed up to over the 78.2, almost at the 178.6. So this is a very valid Fibonacci. This is a valid Fibonacci. So this tells you, if you're a technical trader, that this stock is going to 402.24 and then 409.61, but there's going to be sellers there. Now, what does the Stochastic Momentum Index tell you? It tells you that on a short term, the stock is starting to get exhausted. It's starting to run out of momentum. This is getting ready to turn downwards. It could continue flat while it hits 409.61, but it can't stay there very long. Unfortunately, the longer term trend is also coming up to a point where it's going to be as high right here, as high as it's ever been. And then it's going to start to move back down again. I would not buy this because the only gain is going to be up to 409. I would wait until it makes a significant break through 409, and then I would look for the next move up in Shopify. And again, I don't know what they do, but that's my analysis.